Rob, good evening. You know, tonight is the final episode of our border invasion series, and as we've tried to do all week long is to bring you a different aspect of how open borders directly impacts Americans all over this country. Well, tonight is no different. What was once isolated to crimes on our southern border have now manifested themselves across this country. We're going to show you an investigation tonight that I think really sums up the fears of what open border brings. Take a look.
10-4, we'll check in when we get a little bit closer. We're still tracking approximately 12.
Yeah, 10-4. I got him.
The group is at our 9 o'clock. It's off our left skid, but our horse patrol guys, if you'll come to us, we're going to search for some of the other runners. So if we can keep an eye, a bush, like kind of straight ahead, one went right up here. Can't run from the horses, son.
Look, he's handcuffing them from the horses.
You have some outliers that probably joined the group late, but the majority is all wearing the exact same thing, including the carpet on their shoes. So they're purchasing these packages and they're being made money off of, and then it doesn't really matter. They're just money. They're not people to these groups.
Can you tell me how your community, 80 miles from the border, is being impacted?
We are having pursuits of stolen vehicles almost daily. If they can't outrun us, they'll punch through a fence, and at least one. And a lot of times, if they keep going, and they'll punch through 7 or 8 fences on these of our landowners. And I have one landowner that had his fences punched through and torn down 34 times in 60 days.
What is the cost on something like that? Tens of thousands of dollars.
It gets into 6 figures pretty quick.
Sheriff, of all the things that you're dealing with here, what has impacted you the most that you've seen?
One thing that sticks in my mind is a stop my chief deputy made. It was 2 individuals, young man and young woman. And turns out he was transporting her to the border to sell her for $10,000. He was going to traffic her. They had been on the road for 16 hours from up north, and she just got in too deep, didn't know how to get out until my deputy made that stop.
He saved her life.
Absolutely. And had my chief not stopped her 80 miles from the border, she would have disappeared. She's going to graduate from high school this year because of him.
We witnessed everything from pursuits to bailouts, rescues, even runners, as the cartels and the alien smuggling organizations have become more emboldened than ever before. The men and women of the Texas Department of Public Safety's elite aircraft division are doing all they can to illuminate the crimes impacting the state, but also the rest of the nation. One thing they can tell you is that what's happening right here impacts all Americans. I'm Jaeson Jones with Newsmax.
Rob, I can tell you that last investigation you just saw, that sums up what is now happening. That young girl was taken from one of the most northern states of this country. Now, they asked me not to say it because it's part of an active investigation, but I want to thank the sheriff for being willing to share that with us, because that young girl, that was a human trafficking case going back to Mexico. Terrible investigation taking place, but great work by the McMullen County Sheriff's Office. I want to take a minute just to thank the Texas Department of Public Safety and the Sheriff's Department that we just saw there for being willing to share with us and allow the Newsmax to embed with them. And Rob, I'm just going to close on this here. You hear me talk about all the time that the men and women at local, state, and federal law enforcement who are assigned to work the border are truly the vanguards of this nation. I say it for a reason, because they are facing unprecedented tradecraft from the Mexican cartels and these alien smuggling organizations. It's been a great week. Back to you.
It has been. Jason, you took a story that is on repeat for so many people in this country, a story that we see every single day, as sad and depressing as that is, and you made it so captivating, and I'd like to also thank you and also Texas DPS. You guys together put together some fantastic reporting. Thank you so much for doing it. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Former Border Patrol Commissioner Mark Morgan back with us again tonight. I mean, that story about that girl.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think, Rob, this week what we've learned is that our southwest border is truly being invaded. Yeah. We've learned that our borders are in fact wide open, that the operational control has really been garnered by the cartels among the large areas of our southwest border. We've learned that drugs are pouring in, killing Americans. We've learned that the threats that come across our southwest border don't stay there. It's why we keep saying every state is a border state. And what Jason and Texas DPS crew illustrated today it really goes to the heart of that that truth. But something you and I personally, we've talked about a lot is the Godaway. Yeah. And you mentioned it. Right now under this administration, another record shattered, 800,000 known gotaways. You add in what we don't know, it's well over 1 million. Think about that. And why does that matter? Why are they running? Why are they using techniques like putting a carpet on their shoes to evade apprehension? Because the truth is, among them are some very bad people, murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and gang members. Let me give you a stat real quick to show that. So far, under this administration, they've apprehended about 100 murderers and thousands of sexual predators and gang members. Just think about how many are among the 800,000 that evaded apprehension, and they've made their way to every state in this country.
Think there's any chance in 24, optimistically, we get a Republican back in the White House, that the talk of a wall comes back?
Absolutely.
I mean, they made a lot of progress.
They did. I felt proud, and I was privileged to be a part of that. We built 465 miles under the Trump administration.
How much more do they need?
A few more 100 miles in key strategic locations.
Would do a lot of work. That would do a lot of help. Yeah.
And what I would say, though, is those resources are needed, including the wall, but what's just as important is a policy shift. So you have to have the resources, but you also have the policies that allows the men and women on the front lines that Jason described to actually do their job to secure the border and protect Americans.
Former CBP Commissioner Mark Morgan.
You bet.
Thank you for the time this week. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You made it great. All right, two of the states being hit hardest by the crisis at the southern border are Texas and New Mexico. New Mexico Congresswoman Yvette Harrell joins us now tonight. And thank you so much, Congresswoman, for coming on. Senator Ted Cruz, John Cornyn led a delegation of other senators to the border this week. Here's Ted Cruz. Take a listen.
Where are the Democrats? Why are there no Democrat senators down here? Do they not care about the children being assaulted because of Joe Biden's policies? Where's Joe Biden? He's the one causing this suffering. Where's Kamala Harris? She's supposedly the border czar. And yet she hasn't been even once to the Rio Grande Valley to see this suffering. It is inhumane, it's horrific, and it's wrong.
It's really sad it's this political, isn't it?
Where the Democrats are apparently in Colorado trying to give benefits, public benefits, to those coming here illegally. That's where I think they are.
Yeah, no, and just we're going to bring it up right now. This new report, they want to increase government benefits to migrants. We're going to say the quote here. As of July 1, legal U.S. residency no longer is required to obtain state and local government benefits, professional licenses, or business permits. Legislative analysis said the expansion cost $12 million, but you know, I guess that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a pretty sweet deal when you're not paying income tax, because let's be honest, illegal immigrants, they don't pay income tax. They say, oh, they pay taxes, they pay sales tax and things like that. You're not paying income tax and you can get government and state benefits. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's too bad. I'm so tired of this America Last policy that's coming out of the White House. And you're right, this invasion across the southern border is affecting every state in the nation. And now in my district, in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, we have more illegal activity with migrants crossing than anywhere in the El Paso sector. And that includes the cartel, the stash houses, the drugs. It is unbelievable what's happening. Yet this administration has no appetite to try to put the American people first, save our sovereignty, and really look at the community safety and the issues that they're causing by not taking action and not giving our agents the tools that they need.
Is there going to be anything, let's say that Republicans get power back in a few months in November. Obviously, we won't have the White House at that point, but is there anything that Congress is going to be able to do that Biden can't revoke or get around in some way? Will there be any abatement to this?
Well, I hope that we'll push on the PAUSE Act, some of the legislation that's been introduced that would absolutely put the American safety first. But here's what I find fascinating. We need to hold these DHS Secretary Mayorkas accountable. I mean, he came and said, you know, he had quote unquote operational control. We know by your reporting this week that's been fantastic. The only people that have operational control are the cartels, and it truly is catastrophic what's happening. But they don't want to talk about it because they have no intention of securing the southern border. But if we take the majority in November, I can assure you we will be bringing policies to the forefront that will save the American people, save our communities, and then we can take a hard look at immigration reform. But first and foremost, we must secure the southern border.
Yeah. got to shove it down their throat. I mean, they're not going to want it, but if you've got Congress, there's got to be something that can be done. Congresswoman Harrell, thank you so much for taking the time from New Mexico. We appreciate it.